This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 28. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captives thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rokak, Radash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, Ruel, and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai's sake. My brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 28, is that I came across this article today brought to you by defense1.com, which is a military news agency that pushes out mainly military conflicts and military movement, as well as what the military is doing here in America and abroad. Different what the military is doing in Russia, what the military is doing in Iran, so on and so forth. So what's interesting is that they wrote this piece, to inform their military soldiers that, yeah, man, the Iranians, which are the Persians, and the Russians, which are the Medes, okay, that's why I brought out the book of Jeremiah 51 and 28. It says, prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes. Right. Who are these nations? Well, that's talking about Iran, which are the Persians. Okay. Let's talk about China, which are the Moabites. North Korea. All right. I believe they're Moab as well. All right. Also, you got the European Union, which gave their power onto the beast, which is NATO. All right. They're all being prepared because they're going to start going to war with America. Because when you have, let me finish this off, the captains thereof and all the rulers thereof and all the land of the dominion, his dominion, okay, 29, and the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitant. Right, meaning it's going to get destroyed with nuclear fire. And this is the reason why, because when you're having these nations like Iran and Russia using their media to push out a narration to make their people believe a certain ideology or a certain scenario, hey, that is going to cause a some type of feeling, some type of anger. All right, and this is why America, you're all right about to be jumped and pounced on by all these nations, because for them to push out this media, all right, to write a narration like this, hey, this just proves that they're being prepared, man. And this is all done through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. That's why you're seeing all these nations testing their nukes, doing military drills, put all their money into their defense, so-called defense, all right? Because they're getting ready for war. And when you see articles like this, it's just evident. And who's the bad guy? Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. It's America. You're the bad guy, okay, in this movie, all right, that the Lord has created. You are the final bad man, and he's going to use these nations to take you out, while simultaneously he takes them out. Because all you nations, Russia, you're not next. China, you're not next. So, but this is what happens, man. All right, America, you're on your way out. So let's get into this article. It says, disinformation about the coronavirus is spreading as fast as the virus, thanks to the usual players. Okay, yeah, hey, America, you gotta push out your propaganda. All right, you gotta make your people believe that no, this wasn't a bioweapon, regardless if it was or isn't. It doesn't matter. America, hey, Iranian people, the Chinese people, and the Russian people do believe you are the ones that set off this bioweapon. Chinese authorities maintain that COVID-19 likely originated at a market in Wuhan where people were selling bat meat. Bat meat. Interesting. Now, the Chinese, the Moabites, have always been eating abominable foods. Now all of a sudden, okay, eating a bat, now they catch the coronavirus. Now keep in mind, this is Defense One is a military media, okay, agency that they strictly write to their soldiers, to their captains, all right, to their officers. All right, this is not CNN or Fox News. So this is what the soldiers, the military are being told by these news agencies, okay? Just keep in mind that. But Iranian, Russian, and Chinese propaganda media outlets would like you to believe without evidence that the emerging public health crisis comes from U.S. biological weapons. And it could be, because America can't be trusted in these last days, all right? Even the people of America don't trust their government. That's why they don't listen to the scientists and the CDC and all them. They're out there buying toiletry and hand sanitizer and water, okay? Which that just proves that this is a faithless society, but they want to call themselves Christians and believers in the Bible or whatever, believers in whatever religion they deem. All right, but as soon as the government talks about coronavirus, all right, and they talk about quarantines and people dying, but then the government simultaneously say, hey, nothing to worry about, people lose it, all right? It's funny, man. People lose it. Disinformation about the coronavirus is spreading as quickly as the outbreak, fueled by Iranian, Russian, and Chinese government-backed campaigns blaming and attacking the United States of the source for the scourge. One narrative of all three countries, including China, highlight is the notion that the United States is weaponizing the crisis for political gain, thus worsening its spread globally. Rachel Chernesky, a project manager of the Foreign Influence Election 2020 project with Foreign Policy Research Institute, or FPRI, wrote yesterday, quote, while all three countries' state-sponsored outlets pushed explicitly anti-U.S. sentiments, Iran and Russia appear to push far more conspiratorial content than China. In the disinformation ecosystem, each country's state-sponsored media played off the others to promote shared preferred narratives, he wrote. Hey, but this is the Lord, okay, stirring these nations up. More specifically, stirring up the Medes, which are the Russians. Isaiah 13:17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. We shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Right. When you go into that word stir up, okay, it means to rouse oneself, awaken, incite, okay, to stir up, to rouse, right? The Lord's rousing their spirits up, inciting them to violence against America, to get angry against America, all right? Babylon, because when you read Isaiah 13, that's talking about Babylon, okay? And when you read Jeremiah 51, that's talking about Babylon, okay? The Medes are against Babylon. The nations are against Babylon, okay? "18. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children." Right. And this is where we're coming to. All right. We're getting close to nuclear war. All we do is got to wait for a couple of prophecies. And they're popping off. All right. Hey, this COVID-19 may lead to some type of mandatory vaccination, which may include the chip. All right. Because, hey, that RFID chip isn't just for commerce only, to buy and sell. All right, they want to have it so that your medical records are on there. All right, your identification's on there. But more specifically, all right, that medical record will have if you took in the vaccine or not. Okay? And it's a tracking device. So there's so many things that they're going to use for that chip to be pushed. Once that chip gets pushed, then the nukes start to fly after that. So we're getting close. 19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Right. Because this is of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Scripture says the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. So he's going to make sure that these nations go against America. More specifically, who's going to spearhead it? Russia, the Medes. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Right. So the Lord's making sure that these nations get stirred up, that they believe the propaganda. Okay? That they believe that America is using bioweapon against them and against the globe, which is going to start a campaign. Hey, we got to go against these Americans. All right? They're throwing bioweapons at us, okay? They're throwing drones at us. So we got to hit them. All right? Remember the drone strikes that happened last year against the Russians? They were the Russians were saying this was a nation state. This was not ISIS. All right? And then today there was drones hitting American soldiers. In fact, let me find that article. So we're seeing these both these nations, America and Russia, all these nations are getting ready for war. But where's that article with the Marines getting hit with drones? Marines, drones, Syria. There we go. There we go. Look at this one. Drones are dropping bombs on the United States troops in Syria, and it's not clear who's doing it. Oh, man, you got a lot on your plate, America, man. All right? You got a lot on your plate, man. You got to worry about coronavirus. You got to worry about the stocks crashing. And you got to worry about these wars, all right? And where's these drones being hit at? Check this out, man. It's exciting where it's happening at, all right? It says drones are dropping explosives on U.S. soldiers in Syria, and it's not clear who's behind the attacks. The head of U.S. Central Command, which is responsible for the region, told lawmakers on Tuesday. National Public Radio reporter Tom Bowman first reported the attacks on Friday, observing them as he joined the patrol by U.S. soldiers tasked with protecting oil fields in northeast Syria. That's the Del Azor province, where Trump said he will fight anyone for that oil. It was a multi-day attack on two of the oil fields, the first one since the U.S. mission began last fall to protect the oil fields, right, the Del Azor province. Bowman said, on all things considered, there were soldiers from the West Virginia National Guard at one of the fields, and early Wednesday morning, a drone carrying a mortar dropped it near where they were sleeping. No one was injured, and the soldiers quickly drove off the base. Yeah, they got scared off. It says a drone returned before dawn on Friday and dropped more mortars. You could see the big circular holes on the ground, pock marks on the U.S. military trucks, and one on one of the oil tanks, Bowman said. Sergeant First Class Mitch Morgan told Bowman they sprung up when the attacks began, mounted their vehicles, and left in 2 minutes. As we were going out, they was raining mortars in on top of us, Morgan said. Bowman said Army investigators have told him that some of the mortars were made with 3D printers, which means that obviously someone pretty sophisticated, Russia, Iran, China, put together these mortars, perhaps a nation state. Russia, Iran, China. Maybe more likely it's the Russians, because the Russians, all right, are just retaliating for what you did to them last year. Okay? And is there any more on this? Of course, they want to use ISIS as a cover-up because they want to cause a national fear, an international fear. But it's coming, okay? All right, this is not ISIS, man. This is the Russians, okay? These are the Iranians. These are the Chinese, all right? But, I through the spirit, I believe, I'm just speaking as a man, I think these are the Russians just retaliating. But yeah, America, you got a lot on your plate, okay? It's evident that these nations want your head, all right? The Lord is stirring them up to do so, okay? And he's making sure you go fight them too. So you got to get ready, man. All right. Terrorists. Oh, this is the last one, man. Terrorists shall be on all sides, man. Because this is it. Terror shall make him afraid on all sides. You got a lot on your plate, America. Job 18:11. Terror shall make him afraid on every side and shall drive him to his feet. Boom. Okay? We're living in the last days. It's go time. It's exciting. Let's keep going. Shalom. And of course, a baba ball. Shalom.